welcome.
Hi.
Hello. We're going to wait a few seconds for some people to join us, if possible. And Sabrina's sharing the video. Please share the video. I'm Dr. Liz.
I'm Sabrina Gordon.
And we are here live at Azani Medical Spa, where we are bringing a conversation to you called Cleanse, Renew, and Be You.
Yep.
So we are talking today about beauty from the inside out.
Yeah.
That lasts and lasts. So welcome.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining
for
us
having
on
me.
this Friday lunch
I know.
hour. We're excited to be here.
Yep.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about how we met.
Okay, that's cool.
A few years ago, I was transitioning from a job into starting my own private practice, and I was kind of searching things online and came across your nutrition group.
Yeah.
It was a nutrition group.
I think in like 2015 I did nutritional therapy for our weight loss clients. It was a 6-week program. It was, well, actually, I did a 6-week program. Yep, with Chef Wendy.
Yes.
And Chef Wendy, if for you, those of you who don't know, she had a restaurant in Bethlehem, but she's a raw food nutritionalist. And then we did 6 weeks of a cleanse, which was really incredible. Took all like the GMOs and the antibiotics and the metals out of your body, and then we reset our diet. And that's when we met, because you contacted me.
So I reached out to Sabrina, and we have done a few different events since then together.
I know.
So it's been a few years, and I'm super excited to be here again, working with you on this
I know.
project.
Thank you for asking me. This is so cool.
Yeah. So what we want to know is we are going to be doing a giveaway of a facial, right?
Yep. Yep. Our skin renewal facial, which is a 60-minute facial with massage and extractions and enzymes, which really brighten the complexion. So that's a giveaway if anybody wants it.
So in order to be qualified for the giveaway, we need to reach 10 shares. So please share the video. In the comments below, we're asking you to comment if you were going to a deserted island, what one beauty product would you take with you?
Yes. We were talking about that. So deserted island, you can only bring one thing with you, and we want to know what your favorite thing is. Maybe you can, teach somebody else what your favorite thing is. Yeah, I love that sharing.
So share that, and also like the Azani Medical page.
Yes, Azani Medical Spa.
Azani Medical Spa, and also like Dr. Liz.
Yep.
You can find that at Dr. Liz PhD. If you didn't like it already, please do so.
Yeah.
So comment and then like our pages. What would you bring?
Okay, so I was thinking about this because when we were discussing our meeting, we were talking about coconut oil. I think we'll talk about that later, how much I love coconut oil lately. I never thought I'd be a coconut oil person, but I'm in love. But I thought about it. If I'm on a desert island, they probably have coconuts already.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can have a freebie.
You can pick something else. Your second favorite.
I can pick my second favorite. So I was thinking, besides sunscreen, which is logical, I think I would take false lashes.
False lashes.
Yeah, what else do you need?
Coconut oil and false lashes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to that because I didn't spend time thinking about what one product I would take.
Yeah.
So
what do you love? What product do you use all the time?
well, let's just talk about coconut oil while we're on the subject, because so Sabrina and I met about a week and a half ago to plan, organize, come up with our outline.
Yep.
And tell me what you. Well,
I'll tell you how I stumbled upon this. But
tell me.
The thing that everybody knows about and everybody's in love with.
Go ahead.
So, I've been an esthetician all my life, so I have used great products. I've always had an opportunity to use really great products. And my mother worked for Lauder for 36 years, so I always used real product, always. And I knew that people were really into coconut oil, and I know that people were talking about it and all these things that people were doing with it, but I just didn't really have a need for it. And then I'm trying to grow my hair really long, and one of my stylists said put coconut oil in it, so I was putting the coconut oil in it.
When do you put it in? Wet, dry?
She said dampen the ends a little bit and put it in.
Just the ends, not the roots?
Because it can get way on the scalp a little bit.
Good
Although
to know.
if you see me here, like most of the time, my hair looks like oily because I have it up with coconut oil on it. Trying to grow it. So it gets greasy either way with the coconut oil, Yeah. So this winter, I went and got a facial somewhere, and my skin was dry, and the esthetician used a pre-cleanse. And pre-cleanses are really common in skincare. It's usually an oil or a balm that you put on your face prior, and then you like emulsify, and it helps to like soften your skin so that you can get the impurities out. Because the mistake most women make is that we want to get clean and we just put something very astringent on our skin, and then it just tightens everything up and keeps it all in there. So she gave me a cleansing balm, and I used it, the sample, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I totally forgot. Cleansing balms are so great, and they really help to get the pores clean before you actually cleanse with whichever cleanser.
So you said it opens up
Well,
on some level?
It doesn't tighten. It kind of softens the skin. Yeah, it really softens the skin, and it really like warms up like the impurity, like a blackhead or anything like that, and so it helps it kind of like become like emulsant, so it can come out of the skin.
Okay.
Where most of the time women will use something just because they want clean and it's more astringent and it just tightens everything and holds on to all like the debris. So I was massaging with that all winter, kind of with this sample, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is really changing my complexion. It's really helping a lot. And I ran out, and it was $40 or something. I was like, I don't want to spend $40. You know I should spend $40, but I couldn't at the time. So I used my coconut oil one night, and now I'm in love with coconut oil. Now I wash my face with coconut oil. Like, my first cleanse is coconut oil. It takes off all my makeup, and then I kind of like wipe it down with a cleansing cloth, and then I go over it again almost with coconut oil.
Do you?
Yeah.
So when you first told me this, I was like, what? Because I have had problem skin, and since the time I was a teenager, blemishes and that kind of thing. And so the last thing I would ever think to put on my skin was oil.
Yeah.
Because we hear oily skin clogs your pores, makes you break out, have blemishes. But I started that night.
Okay.
I started using coconut oil after we met, so it was about 10 days ago. And I usually am good for a few blemishes, a couple, maybe monthly. Right. And so I did the pre-cleanse. I put it on my face before I washed my face.
Right.
And it takes off your makeup, because I would use the cleansing cloths.
Yep.
And never ever would I get all the mascara or eyeliner off, and I'd wake up and I'd have the smudging underneath.
Yeah.
But this really does take it off.
Oh, I know.
And I will tell you that I was blemish free until yesterday, but I loved it, and my face
and your face
really
is I can see it.
Softer.
Yeah, your skin is actually glowing. Yeah, your skin is glowing, and I think that's what the coconut oil does. I think it like really glows the skin up. Yeah. It just makes it very, very dewy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And so not only that, so then after that, I'll go in with like a cleanser, or sometimes just with my
because you have to cleanse it. I
you have to
cleanse it off
because you don't
want it sitting there forever.
No. And when I first started in skincare a long time ago, I had a client. I'm an esthetician, and I had a client, and she was pregnant, and she was breaking out. And I said to the master esthetician, my lead esthetician, I said, what do I use? Pregnant skin, I'm kind of concerned. I can't really use anything. She's like, well, you actually want to use an oil-based moisturizer. Tell her to use an oil-based moisturizer, because even though it's hormonal acne, sometimes when you are pregnant, still skin is a balance between oil and water. And usually the skin is looking for oil, so that's why it overproduces the oil. So if you are breaking out, sometimes using something like an oil helps, because your skin says, okay, we're oily enough, don't make any more sebum, like cut back. Okay. So you'd be surprised that even with breaking out, how an oil-based helps.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got into the beauty industry, how you decided, I want to be an esthetician. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, the miraculous story now.
Yeah.
What happened was, I guess I was always into skin. I actually remember in 3rd grade, we had a teacher, Mrs. Delaval. She was our music teacher. She was French. She wore her hair in a French seam, and she had beautiful skin. And I remember right after music class, I said, Miss Delaval, how do you get your skin so pretty? And she said, egg white mask every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what she said. And so I guess I kind of always was into skin. And then I was going to college. I was in Manhattan, and I was going to school for teaching, just because I thought I was going to be a teacher. And then my sister took me to get a facial in Morristown, New Jersey, because my skin was kind of like congested. My sister took me to get a facial, and the girl gave me a facial, and I said, oh my God, that is like the most beautiful experience in the world. If you've never gotten a facial, you have to get a facial. I mean, you feel like you're Cleopatra. And so when I left there, I was like, I love it. And I went back to college, And then I was like struggling because I wasn't really into it. And then my brother said, go to cosmetology school. So I did. And then somehow I got in the beauty industry.
Yeah, that's neat. I love the story about your teacher.
Yeah, Mrs. Delaval. Anybody who is on my Facebook page and knows Mrs. Delaval, I think everybody's working right now, but she was really beautiful. She had like this beautiful skin and blonde hair. She was kind of stern, like strict, stoic, I should say. But her skin was amazing.
Yeah, I think as little girls, we probably can all think of at least one woman, whether it's your mom, grandmother, who you just thought when you looked at that person they were beautiful, and and maybe skin, maybe hair, maybe other things, but also kind of the inner beauty too. I think really does help us feel more beautiful on the outside.
Oh, definitely,
too.
especially when we're taking good care of ourselves.
Yes.
You know, emotionally and energy-wise, and exercise and spiritually, and we always feel much better and look better.
Balance.
Yeah, look better.
So I love what you said about the face. I'm gonna put this out here right now. Confessional: I've never had a facial. I know, and you even.
I know. I've
we've known
invited
each
you
other.
so
You've
much.
invited me, and I to be honest, before. Like with the whole coconut oil thing, I'm scared of facials. I'm not gonna lie.
That's true.
Because of my skin.
Are.
I'm very scared of because I had an experience one time, besides the problem skin that was really troublesome when I was a teenager and even into my early 20s. It's really when your face doesn't look clean and your best. It's just it took a hit on my self-esteem.
Of course.
Apart from that, I had one time right before the prom, someone came in and did all of our makeup. Like, I don't remember the company of the makeup, but someone came in and my friends and we gathered at one of our houses, and I had an allergic reaction to the makeup.
On your prom
and my
day.
face,
Horrible.
I know. Well, luckily, I don't know how I got through the prom.
Yeah.
But the next day, not so good. So ever since then, I've been very, very hesitant to move beyond anything safe on my face.
Well,
So,
that's true. A lot of people who break out are really afraid of facials and a lot of people, sometimes people have gotten facials and they're afraid of facials because they think the facial made them break out, when usually it's more of a reaction to the product. Like there's something that was used in that facial that just didn't agree with you, and it's unfortunate during that time period, but you want to find a facialist that you like, an esthetician that you like, because if you get a facial every 5 weeks, like it's a game changer. I really believe it is. It sounds like it's luxurious and it's really decadent to do that, but it really isn't, because facials are priced so that you can get them every 6 weeks.
So my goal is by the end of June to get a facial.
Oh,
so I'm putting that out there so that it makes me hold me accountable.
Yes, I will. Yeah,
And,
I'll have my team call you until you're booked.
But yeah, I'm excited. So a few weeks ago, friends and a couple of friends from high school, we went to a spa. We had a spa day. We each picked what service that we wanted. We gathered. We were from different parts of
really
this.
fun.
But some of them did a facial, and I did a massage, which was very wonderful.
Yeah, massages are
But
great.
yeah, I was afraid. Like I said, I was afraid to do the facial.
I know, a lot of people are. No, they're just really, really wonderful. Yeah, really wonderful.
So when we're talking about kind of the importance of having a facial routine, doing something, having a routine with how you cleanse your skin. So a few weeks ago, I was visiting a friend, Lynn, in Tennessee, and we were talking about our face, and I was saying, sometimes I don't love this part of my face. And she was like, well, what do you do? What's your routine? And I'm like, I don't really have a routine. I just wash my face, or I take my makeup off, and then I put moisturizer on. She's like, you're missing like 4 steps or something. So, so tell us, what are some of the things we should be, staple items that we should be doing in our skincare routine?
Okay, so it sometimes can be overwhelming, because it's true. Sometimes women feel like, oh, I have to do so much in order for my skin to look good. But you really don't. It could be very simple. Picking the right cleanser is absolutely number one. Cleanser is an action product. You're asking it to do something. You're asking it to change the pH of your skin to get a derived result. So lots of times people overlook the cleanser and they just go right for the moisturizer thinking, oh, this moisturizer or this eye cream or this serum, but really your cleanser's hugely important. So people, the absolute must is to make sure that you have a good cleanser suitable for your skin type, whether that be a milky type cleanser or an acidic type cleanser. You should absolutely have a toner. Hands down, have to have a toner, and everybody forgets a toner. And a toner is so important because it says, okay, we're done with the cleansing process. Let's get the pH balanced again, and then that way we can start to either put a serum on or a moisturizer or whatnot. But if you don't do the toner, what happens is that you don't get your pores to be toned. You kind of leave them just gaping open for all that moisturizer or makeup you're going to put on.
Toned, you're meaning like
toners tend to be astringent by
somewhat,
nature in the idea to maybe close the pore.
Close it a bit.
But there are toners that are not, like rose water is more hydrating.
And I use that.
Yep.
Spritz it right on my face.
Yep, and those are good, especially for delicate people, delicate skin.
Okay.
You said delicate. But a toner is really important because I often say to people, you know, as we get older, we lose the elasticity in our skin, and then our pores also lose that elasticity, and they become like gaping holes, and they become like potholes. So the light doesn't reflect off the skin.
Awful.
The skin, it doesn't reflect off the skin. It's not like this nice, you know. So very important. So cleanse, tone, absolutely must.
So rose water is one option.
Rose water is one option.
You were saying some other things you like.
We actually have a toner here at Azani, not to plug Azani, but we probably have one of the best toners I've used in my industry. And it's our dual action toner because it has salicylic and glycolic acid in it.
Okay. Is it a spray or a
It's
cotton
you put it
ball?
on a cotton pad.
Okay.
And it is brightening because of the acidic acids with the glycolic and the salicylic acid, and it really is astringent, so it really closes down those pores. And then it's just amazing. There's nobody who's used that toner yet who wasn't like, wow, you're absolutely right.
And you use, this is morning and night you would use
Morning
a
and
toner?
night, yeah, morning and night. Because especially now that I'm using the coconut oil to cleanse, I really use my astringent toner because I need to kind of get that off my skin as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I'm not using that and I'm just a little dehydrated, I might use just the toner, maybe a rose water toner at night or a vitamin C toner, just a spritz. But toning, I think, is really an absolute must.
Well, and when I started, I never used toner before. A few years ago, I started, maybe a year and a half ago, and I didn't even know what it was for. I just thought it smells good, and when I sprayed it, I'm like, wow, it really feels good on my face. Like it just felt fresh.
And that's another thing, talking about energy, you know, like that care and that nurturing that you give to yourself. If you are using a toner, you could always just use something that has like a scent to it, because then it just, you know, it says, okay, let me take a breath now. You know what I mean? Let me take a breath. I'm doing everything for everybody else, and this is me, and let me just spritz this on. I think it's very important for the head.
Okay. I love that.
And then other than that, we love our sunscreens. I think those are very important things to do, just to use a sunscreen if you're going to be exposed to sun. And it's, you know, from there it's antioxidant moisturizers. If somebody's going to use something, they should have an antioxidant moisturizer, because your moisturizer is not your sunscreen. Your moisturizer is your moisturizer, and a lot of people make this kind of mistake. Just let your moisturizer be the moisturizer, and hopefully it has antioxidants
So you're
in
saying
it.
sometimes if we put moisturizer and sunscreen together.
Well, sometimes people are like, my moisturizer has sunscreen.
Right.
You know, you're like, all right, but you're...
All right.
But they really should have an antioxidant. Because if you think about antioxidant protection, if you cut an apple open and it turns brown and it dries, that's oxidation.
Good one.
Yep.
Okay, that's good for us to picture.
And antioxidants, we know, are so important for the body overall because they prevent inflammation, and inflammation is the breakdown of the tissue of the body. So when you're using something that has antioxidants, you're putting a moisturizer on and you're saying, okay, I'm going to go out and I might live in a city, or I might be commuting, or just all the urban dust, we call it, and that gets on the skin and that robs your skin of electrons, and it just breaks down your connective tissue. So your daytime moisturizer really should just have an antioxidant base with hydration that you're looking for. And then your sunscreen can come in your tinted moisturizer, or it could come in an actual sunscreen if you're going to the beach.
And does it matter when you put what layer? Go ahead.
Because the molecule...
So I kind of just throw it all on.
The molecule, the rule of thumb is thinnest products first.
Thinnest products first. Okay.
Yeah. So if you ever like left the cosmetic counter or left your esthetician or your spa, and all of a sudden you have all of these products, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Your thinnest product goes on first because that is going to be the smallest molecule. It's going to go right into the skin. Usually serums don't sit on the top of the skin. They're going into the skin to do something. Then your moisturizer is your second one, and if you ever feel your sunscreen, it's usually the thickest
Heavy,
moisturizer.
yeah.
So that's going to go on the top.
Okay.
So if you ever put like your sunscreen on top, then there's no reason to put your serum or anything on. It won't be able to penetrate.
Okay.
Yeah. So serum is usually the lightest, and I'm not saying you have to use a serum all the time. I think that's what happened. I think that when serums were introduced, people started to get really confused. They're like, I have this big process now. It's not necessary.
So when you're saying serum, what are you talking about?
So
For some of us who might not know.
So sometimes when you go to your cosmetic counter or your spa or wherever, and then she says, okay, well, this is not a moisturizer, this is a serum, and this is supposed to be, supposed to do something like maybe brighten your skin or prevent wrinkles or something like that. Those serums do that. They sometimes you need them and sometimes you don't. Either you have a good skincare regimen where you're, protecting your skin on a daily basis with antioxidants and getting the hydration and cleansing properly. You really won't need a serum. You won't be reliant on a serum. But sometimes a serum is important. Like I'm using our C-Stem serum right now because I'm spray tanning, for the weekend. I'm nice and tan, but it kind of brings up a little bit of my melanin. So that kind of suppresses it. So it's, things like that. It gets a little complicated at that point.
Okay.
We can always help you with that. But
I'm just going to see if there's any comments. I don't know how. Oh, no.
and the only thing I have to do too is I think I have to share this to Azani's page because I didn't do that.
There we go. Oh, there we go. We have a comment.
Oh, we do? Great.
Yeah, Erin Lee said mascara is
Totally.
what she would take.
Yes, yes.
False lashes mascara.
Absolutely. I totally hear it.
Yeah, so our question was, what one beauty product would you take with you to a deserted island to enter into our drawing for a free facial?
Yes.
So we're talking about skincare routines and how to kind of get that radiant, beautiful glow on your skin. Another thing that when I was with my friend Lynn, who was talking to me about what?
I don't know how to tag Azani on it. I'm the worst.
Well, we can do that afterwards.
Yeah.
Because
we'll do it
even
afterwards.
if people aren't watching live,
They'll
this
watch
will
later.
be posted.
Okay,
they can
perfect.
watch later,
Yeah,
and they can
concentrate
still
on you.
share. Yeah. Masks. So I have 4 of them at home.
Okay.
One's a detox, one's an exfoliator, one's a hydrator, and the other one is oil control.
Okay.
So Lynn, my friend, again, who I was with a few weeks ago, said, establish a routine, but also maybe pick a day or two that you're saying, this is my mask day, which I love because then you're in a routine. Because I'm like, oh, I do a mask every now and then.
Yeah.
But now, ever since I was with Lynn, Monday and Friday mornings are my mask days.
That's great.
Yeah.
I used to do my mask day, and I still do it on Sundays sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I can have a longer time. I just take a shower,
More
exfoliate
time.
a little bit, and then just sit 20 minutes with my mask. Yeah, it's always good. Masks are important, and there are lots of masks out there. We tend to like enzyme mask, like pumpkin mask. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of pumpkin mask. I'm sure when our viewers watch this, many people have.
Yeah.
Pumpkin is one of the best masks because it's enzymes, and enzymes are like little Pac-Men. They kind of sit on the surface of the skin looking for a protein to eat. So if there is a blackhead or a dry skin, it's going to gobble that up. But if there's areas on the skin that aren't, it just leaves it alone.
Okay.
So sometimes, sometimes when we're trying to get clean, we use clay masks. So these are so dehydrating to the skin instead of using something more enzymatic that kind of can read the skin and do what it needs to do in different places. It's really wonderful. Pumpkin is the best enzyme. There's papaya enzymes and things like that, but pumpkin is they found to be the most results oriented.
That's neat.
So a pumpkin mask is always really great. Even like I get a spray tan, so sometimes after the spray tan, it's kind of in my pores. So I'll just put the pumpkin mask on the pores, and it just kind of like gets rid of that extra spray tan in the pores.
Well, and I love that you talked about the spray tan because when I saw you, I'm like, oh, you look so tan.
Yeah.
And one thing we hear, but sometimes we don't like, is that the sun is not very good for our skin.
No.
But it makes us look healthier, right? The summer and the glow and the tan, and it makes us feel better.
Yep.
So you opt to skip the sun. You wear the hat.
Yep.
Right?
I wear a big hat.
Wear a big hat,
sombrero.
sunscreen.
Yep.
But a spray tan can be
Yeah,
helpful.
and actually this, what
Do
I have,
you do it yourself or you go somewhere?
I usually go somewhere and get a spray tan once a week, but last night I had the Saint Tropez. I went to Ulta and they gave me a Saint Tropez like face mask, and you literally just take it out of the packet and put this face mask on for 10 minutes, and then you take it off, and then you just kind of put it in, and then you go to sleep. And so I'm surprised I'm this tan. I'm a little, like, I'm usually not this tan, but I just did it last night, so in a couple of days it'll be better. But that was a great product. I actually kind of woke up scared this morning because I was like, what happens if I have streaks all over? Because I had never used that one before. But yeah, I usually just go get a spray tan. And it's great because you don't want to lay in the sun. It really kind of damages the collagen in your skin, but you want to wear a bathing suit and like your body look good, and or even just on your face, you don't even have to care about makeup. I love spray tan. I do it once a week in the summer.
Okay. So another thing we wanted to talk about is how do we age gracefully?
Yes.
Right? And so you're going to talk a little bit about aging. So for those of you who might be listening and not watching, you can come back and watch if you're, but here, Sabrina's going to talk about what happens. This was fascinating to me. So when you showed me this last week, what happens to our faces as we get older? And why sometimes we get the wrinkles, the jowls, those kinds of things as we get older.
So this
just the why, right? So it doesn't mean that you should do anything about it.
No, this is just the anatomy of the body.
Just understanding.
Just understanding, because I think it's important.
Let you put your thing up there.
Galderma, which is the company that makes Restylane, this is one of their face charts, the Galderma face chart for Restylane and just aging. So this is a great face chart I'd show my patients because this is a mother and daughter, and it just shows the difference as they get older. And I actually just put a great picture of Christy Brinkley and her daughter.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, on Instagram, which is also like a nice, because they look so similar, just like these two do. So skip ahead to this. It just kind of shows how the loss of volume is happening here. She's kind of losing some volume. And you're like, wow, how's that happening, right? So what happens to the face is this. Let me skip ahead. Okay, so this is the anatomy of the face, and I hope you can see it well.
Yeah.
So over here,
do you want me to hold it a little closer there? Because we don't want the glare there. Okay.
Yeah. So
there we go.
Yeah. So if you look at this picture right here, the forehead is just skin over muscle. It's just skin over muscle, and there's no fat there. And that's why our Botox type products work really well there, because it's just skin over muscle. I mean, you make the expression long enough, and that skin that's sitting, that thin layer of skin that's sitting over that muscle is just going to crease one day. It's just going to have a stagnant wrinkle in it, and that's just going to be there when you're not making that expression. So it's important to realize that that's why that product works so well, because there is no fat there, really. Yeah. But below there, you can see how the fat is all through the face. And this triangle right here in the center, I love to look at that triangle the most, because as we start to get older, that triangle really diminishes and it almost goes away, as does the fat over the eye and in the temporal. And so what happens is we always say that people are becoming two-dimensional because the fat is losing here. So it's a cosmetic term, two-dimensional. It means that literally that fat just goes, so the skin on top of it just becomes a nasolabial fold. It just lays right down in there. But what people don't realize too, and the brow comes down and all that, because the fat is gone, the pillow is gone. But what people also don't realize is that the bone in the face demineralizes, as bone does throughout our body. This is fascinating, right? So in this first picture over here, this one, you can see her eye socket is nice and tight. But as we start to go towards aging here, the eye socket becomes much wider, and it's because literally the bone is wasting away, and that's why we start to see more tiredness under the eye. We start to see like sunken, the hollowness. Not only is the fat going, but the bone's receding, and sometimes on people we can see more vascularity. It looks dark or purple because we're actually seeing the vascularity that's behind the bone and was under the fat for all those years. But it also happens on the cheekbone and the jawline, and what people don't realize, that's pretty good.
Good?
Yep. So what people don't realize is that when that bone demineralizes on the cheekbone and the jaw, it literally recedes. The bone just goes away. So without the fat and without the bone, it's just hollow, and the face falls forward. And so that's why we start to see like a little bit of the jowls here. Obviously, the nasolabial folds have been coming from the cheekbone, and then it just kind of falls forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go to the anywhere and they say, oh, this moisturizer is going to firm your skin. Well, unless it contains fat and bone,
it's not doing much.
It probably won't work as well as you would hope.
And that's it's helpful to understand what happens.
It is.
Because, you know, you see the commercials of this will firm it right up, and or take away the wrinkles.
Yeah.
But, and then you're upset and not understanding why it's not working.
Yeah.
And now you understand. Now
And it's not inexpensive. I mean, your average cost for a moisturizer or anything firming is $80 or more, you know, and then you add the serum on top of that. And those things are, and again, that's where we get back to your moisturizer is great if it has antioxidants and it's protecting the tissue on your face, because that's not going anywhere.
Okay.
But, and maybe, you know, it's not going to do much more than that, though.
Right. So just for those of you who are kind of joining again, we just want to keep putting out there to our question of the day is, if you were going to be going to a deserted island, what one beauty product would you take with you?
Yeah, what one thing?
You said?
I said false lashes.
False lashes. Aaron commented mascara. Verdict is still out for me. I do like mascara. I do like mascara. If I do anything, I like to do
lipstick.
I do like lipstick. I do. Yes, I do like lipstick. So maybe that would be it.
Yeah.
But and then I also, when we were talking about the sun, what's important for us to know about kind of how do we keep as we're moving into summer?
Yep.
So wearing hats, wearing sunscreen.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Because sometimes my lips get really
dry.
Yes, or peely, and I
Yeah.
wonder, you know, you can put lip balm on there, but that attracts the sun. So is there anything that you?
Yeah, the lips are a tough one because they dehydrate, especially if we're dehydrated without water. You know, if we don't have enough hydration in our body, we're going to see it first on our lips, so to speak. Yeah, there's really, I haven't come across anything that's the miracle, unfortunately, no.
But you're also saying that dehydrated, that word has come up a few times today, and it does take us into more of how we take care of ourselves from the inside out,
definitely.
right? So drinking lots of water.
Half your body weight in ounces is what people should drink on a daily basis.
Oh,
yep.
I never heard that.
And so what's nice is sometimes I've seen where they have like water bottles and the person will put their, you know, like their measurement, like I have to drink this much today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so half your body weight in ounces of water.
Yes, I drink a lot of water. I make it a goal of mine to drink a lot of water. And I find that the more water I drink, the more I want. Because my body really loves it.
And you're probably getting your whole system to then flush itself out and urinate and all that other stuff. And that's really important.
Get the toxins
out.
Get
all the toxins. So then you're really hydrating all of your organs, and then you need to replenish that as well.
Right.
It's
so
a great
it's not
cycle.
it's great for being fit and healthy and having because we talked about, you know, we want to feel good. We also want to look good.
Yeah.
Water is really important for that. Another thing I think that is super important for us as women is to be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
Which we don't, you know, I can say even from my own experience, like when I do have a blemish, I'm like, oh, I get really angry and I'm like mad at myself and mad at my skin, mad at whatever's going on. And that can happen with anything about our bodies, right? We all have this problem areas, like even the word saying problem area is so mean to ourselves.
Right, exactly.
But we have them, let's be honest. We have spots on our face and body that we look at in pictures or we look at and say, ooh, I don't like that.
I don't like it.
But it's very important to be kind to yourself.
You know what, it's such a great thing that you just brought up, because I go to school with David Winston for herbalism, right? It's about a 4-year course. I'm in the 2nd year. But our professor this week, she was talking about the female reproductive system. And it was really so interesting because she was talking about how when we are menstruating, right, and our uterus is full, that we don't slow down. Like our bodies were meant to slow down. And we live at that time. And we live in such a world where if you're not working out, you know, you're inadequate. And if you're not working as hard as you can, you're inadequate. Or if you're not like being able to have that job and the family, like, you know, we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Absolutely.
And to be so empowered, which we are, but there's never that time for rest. And when you are menstruating, you should never be picking up anything because your uterus is full. And that could cause uterus prolapse later in life. And I don't think I've ever heard that in, you know, all of my life, you know, that no, don't pick that up, you know, because you don't even think about the anatomy of your body, how you're straining it.
Right.
Yeah, so the whole thing is that you're tired for a reason, or you're lethargic for a reason.
Or nasty.
Or nasty for a reason. Yeah, you really got to nurture yourself. And even through menopause, which is like, it has the word pause in it. Like you should pause and maybe honor the fact that you are transitioning, you know, and that in itself, you know, usually at that time, maybe your kids are grown and, you know, you have a little bit more time to that's a time to kind of say, okay, let me get back to nurturing me a little bit more.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And honor this whole change that's happening within me.
Well, and that's really, that's so great because I think we know as human beings with any change, with any transition, comes anxiety, comes stress.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good change or a bad change or
Good
however
stress or
we're
bad stress.
labeling it, it causes kind of our bodies to react in a way of kind of amping up the hormones and also making us feel a certain way.
Our adrenals.
So the importance of rest, I don't think can be overstated. But just the word rest is so foreign to us because we're go go go. We're in a go 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 society,
and we're rewarded for that.
We are.
We're not rewarded for relaxation.
And relaxation, I think sometimes people will use the word lazy as very negative. Has a really negative connotation, and it's almost like, well, you know, what are you doing? Why are you sitting down? Why are you
I know. And especially when the weather's really nice, because you could be working a lot and then all of a sudden it's a beautiful day and you're like, I should be doing something. I just can't sit here and do nothing. And that sometimes in the winter, if you live in an area that has the four seasons like we do, you know, it's kind of February is sometimes nice, because you can't do anything, so you are going to sit home and read and relax.
But then that voice inside, like I should be doing something, is then what compounds us to make us feel bad about ourselves, sometimes depressed in those winter months because we can't do anything and we should be doing something. When if anything that you take from this today is nurturing yourself involves giving yourself time to rest, space to breathe, space to care for yourself.
And you know, to tell you the truth, I think that's why I've always really liked facials in a sense, and people who like massages, and you know, those things are, again, they're not decadent. They are really a time to say, okay, I am just going to really relax, and I'm gonna have a nurturing experience and a touch experience, which is also really nice, important as well, sensory experience. Yeah, and we never do that.
Yeah, I think I hit everything on our list.
Cool.
If anyone watching has any questions, please do let us know. But while we're kind of wrapping up, can you tell us, just kind of give us some of your, tell us more about Azani.
Okay. And
what are some of the kind of up and coming things that are going on and services that you provide here?
Okay. So Azani Medical Spa is right here in Bethlehem, and we've been here since 2008, and we do all of the skincare stuff. So we do facials, and we do the peels. We do some beautiful peels. We have a great skincare line, and we do laser hair removal. We do IPL that helps with sunspots. We do bioidentical hormones, which really helps people in that transitionary stage as well to find out what their hormones are doing, and even check the adrenals. And that kind of gets back to our whole thing about rest, because the stress takes a toll on the body. And you really need to say, okay, I went through something stressful and now I've got to go through a restorative time. And so we can check the cortisol levels and see if there are, you know, any stressors in the body and things like that, and help people in an internal anti-aging, but also really a wellness program. you know. And then here our staff is devoted to wellness. I mean, we always do really great workshops like we did with Chef Wendy, and you know, I study herbalism, so and Trisha, our nurse, is really also very aware of those things. So we're also saying just beyond, you know, just beyond our regular bioidenticals, is just how to take care of yourself in general.
Yes, we did. Was it 2 years ago that we did a resilience workshop here at Azani, which was
it was
very
really
much
great.
About wellness and balancing.
Yeah, tell them about that. Was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a 6 week workshop program that we held here, in a group format, and
it was like group therapy on top of it, because it was.
There was an element of when you gather in a group of people, whether it's, you know, women, men. We had all women, which was fun. You really do start to understand and learn more about yourself as a person and how you relate with people. We as women, we're sometimes taking care of everyone.
Yeah.
And so we learned in that group some dynamics, how to support one another, how to encourage one another. Sometimes we're kinder to others than we are to ourselves.
Yeah.
And so that was a really fun time.
And I thought what was interesting about that too, because it was really like a weight loss thing, and sometimes it was talking about, you know, the person's family dynamic, where the person, where their spouse or somebody's trying to love them and take care of them, but at the same time it contradicts their diet.
Right.
And it's like, that's not my love bucket, you know what I mean, right now. And it was really interesting on that level.
Oh, here we have a question from Ryan. I know this is geared towards all the beautiful women out there. Are any of these tips applicable to men, or any brief tips that could apply to men?
Hi, Ryan. Ryan's great. That's a great question. Yeah, all of them apply to men, and that's true. We shouldn't exclude. So all of our skincare products.
Were we being exclusive? Yeah. Sorry, men.
All of our skincare products are appropriate for men. And definitely the facials are important. The broken capillaries around the nose and the sun damage, I posted a picture. I talked about that in my last blog. Yeah, everything we do here in laser hair removal, and definitely the bioidentical hormones. And we do platelet-rich plasma, which is for hair restoration and other connective tissue issues. Yeah, so we do that, which is incredible.
Yeah, and for sure, men need to rest as well. Men need to drink water as well. I definitely, there's more pressure that's blatant in our society for women to be young and beautiful. Yeah. But yes, for sure.
Yeah, and especially men, you know, with their testosterone levels can really take a toll. I mean, really a big hit on you when you're, you just don't have that vitality, or you're like so tired during the day. And so we can always check that for you.
Yes, and what would men take to a deserted island?
Yeah, what would they take?
What would you take, Ryan?
Ryan, what would you take to a deserted island?
If you could choose one, this was our question of the day. So for Ryan and others who are tuning in,
what would a man take?
What would you take? One product, would we say product? One thing you could take to a deserted island, what would it be?
A man might take like a, you know, a quad or something. So it doesn't have to be a product. It could be anything else.
Right.
Yeah, it could be whatever.
So, again, thank you for this.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was really fun. If you're just tuning in, or if you're watching later when it's not live, we're still asking you to share the video, tag friends who you think would be interested in.
Yeah.
You're just, we could talk for hours.
I know,
There's so many questions, like we could go a little bit deeper in, but we're going to respect everybody's lunch hour and time, and we'll be back together.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And come into Azani, and we could do a consultation.
Yeah, so
and we should probably consider doing a workshop or something. Yeah.
Yes, we'll post in the comments the website for Azani and my website as well, so that you can find us here.
Yep.
And
have a wonderful. Well, thanks for coming to Azani. We loved having you, Dr. Liz.
Ryan said aloe.
Oh, that's so smart.
That's a good one.
You know, actually, Ryan, I was going to buy an aloe plant this weekend at Home Depot, because I saw it at Home Depot last night. But an aloe plant's nice to have at home.
Speaking of something great for your skin.
Yeah, and a nice gift for somebody, too.
That is good. Yeah. I always put that on after. It's one of the things I take on vacation, because my skin does burn.
Yeah.
Even though I wear sunscreen. But yeah, so, okay, well, thank you. And thank you for everyone for watching, tuning in.
Yep.
Remember to comment what you would bring for your chance to win a facial at Azani. And please share, so when we hit enough shares of the video, we will post on here who was the winner of the facial. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.